Okay, we're ready to get started again. And remember I told you I was going to get some water, and it's warm water. Okay, this warm water, the reason you don't want it hot is because you don't want it to cook the yeast. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the yeast, remember the yeast, in the warm water and the 1 teaspoon of sugar into this little measuring cup. And I'm going to go ahead and put my sugar in there. Yeah, it sounds funny to have sugar and pizza crust, but you do. Okay, and now I'll cut the top of my yeast off and just pour the whole packet of yeast in there, and you let that dissolve, and it'll kind of look a little pasty looking, and that's because the yeast has to take time to coagulate with the water and the sugar, and it'll be kind of a creamy looking, ugly color. Kind of like that, but it'll all dissolve inside there. So you, like I said, you don't want it hot, you don't want it to cook the yeast, you just want it to dissolve the yeast and the sugar together. Okay, and so while that's happening, Grandma's going to go ahead and start putting all the other ingredients together, and I'm going to let that set for a few minutes and let that dissolve. So what we need first is we need to get our flour, which this is already pre-measured it, 2.5 cups of flour. And so we're going to put that in our little bowl here. And I'm going to go over here and do that. And I like to sift my flour out. Even, you know, it just makes it not clumpy. So I'm just going to do that. Move this around so you can see what I'm doing here. Wish I could get Grandpa to help me do my videos. You know how that goes, right? There's Papa when you need him, right? Okay, so here we go. Click, 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 click. Then the next thing we'll do is we'll put our olive oil, and that's our olive oil. Like I said, I use the extra virgin olive oil, and you need 2 tablespoons of that. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil. There's 1 and 2. Okay. Next, we'll need, boy, that's starting to get really thick. Okay, we'll need our salt, which we need 1 teaspoon of salt. And so we'll whoa. Normally I don't measure things out, but I will because I'm trying to show you how to do it. And Grandma's messy sometimes. That means I'm a good cook. Alright, next, after we do the salt, alright, now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stir that up. And then once I get this all stirred, I will then add my yeast stuff in it, and that'll make the dough rise a little bit. And we have to let the dough rise a little, not while I'm mixing it up, but after I get it rolled out and everything, put on the pizza pan, so it'll have a little bit of a rise in it. You don't want a flat, boring crust. You want a nice fluffy crust to put all your good ingredients on it. Grandma's making a veggie. Actually, I have one meat product that I'm putting on it, and that's this stuff. I've never tried it, but it looked really good and yummy. So I thought, oh well, it kind of looks like pepperoni, doesn't it? So anyway, that's the only meat that we're going to have in our pizza. takes a little bit to get all that stuff mixed up. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add our yeast product. Yeast and sugar and water, that's all it is. And this is what it looks like. Kind of yucky looking. See it? So that's what it looks like. Alright. So I'm just going to stir that all together and make it the dough. And remember, Grandma's first rule is always make sure your hands are clean, because you're going to be using your hands to mix this dough up and to make it into a flat dough. So, and Grandma's already washed her hands real good with soap. I know you're old enough to know that, but I just, in case one of the other grandkids wants to see the video, right? Now this is what your pizza dough is going to look like. I got to get all those ingredients mixed in there really good. So it's going to look like this before we roll it out onto a floured surface. So I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. See? That's what it looks like. Okay. Now then, Grandma is going to put her flour that I'm going to do roll out the rolling pin and all that good stuff over here. Okay. There we go. So just kind of make your little work area there with flour. Okay. Put that out of the way. Now I'm going to mix up my dough and work it real good, because it's got that yeast in there to make it rise a little bit. So we want to make sure that's blended in really, really good. Okay? And it's sticky. Yeah. It's easier just to buy your crust, but if you want to make home